So, welcome everyone. My name is Kaspar Schlenk, and I have the pleasure to talk about a real interesting and sometimes also difficult relationship, founders and VCs. So, in good times, like today, they celebrate each other on panels and events, and yeah, in bad times, they also sometimes hate each other. After a few beers, most of the founders tell their stories about their small and bigger fuck-ups with investors and also the other way around. So I'm happy to discuss this topic together with Daniel Seidel in the middle, the founder of the VR platform InnoActive. And he bootstrapped the business for a few years and then decided recently to raise some money. He got 4.4 million from the two other guys here on the panel. On the left side is Benjamin Erhardt. He worked for the Hightech Gründerfonds and has been involved in 50 transactions and some exits. And for 1 year now, he is partner at Unternehmertum Venture Capital Partners. And we have on my left side Olaf Jacobi. Olaf founded 3 companies and is now managing partner at Capnamic Ventures and worked before at Target Partners, and yeah, he's a lot of experience in investing in startups. For example, the EdTech champion from Berlin, Adjust. So Daniel, you bootstrapped your startup without the help of investors for about 4 years. So what changed your mind? Why did you raise money recently?
Well, you have to know that we are in the very new field of technology into bringing virtual reality in the enterprises. And there was a time when there was just a huge uncertainty which business case really makes sense to use these consumer technology in enterprises. So it took us 4 years, let's say, to figure out a good business case which really scales. And that's why we just waited to the right point of time and financed ourselves with our customers and learn together what makes sense. And then when training as a use case really hit the ground and was able to scale, then we pitched this business case. But essentially we also did some MVPs before in other areas, but were not successful, in fact. And then we saw that that's the right point of time to go for VCs. Yeah.
So what was the technology doing in the first place, and what is your business model now?
Well, first we sold like projects, like pilot projects for VR in retail and also in manufacturing to customers like Volkswagen, MediaMarkt, Saturn, and then took the project margins and bootstrap from these margins a product which is when the pilot ends, to roll out this successful use case then in the enterprise. And now we are selling user subscriptions on a recurring fee, and that's what, of course, enables a huge scale for the business in the long run.
So what was the pros and cons you discussed in your teams before raise money?
Well, it was not about pros and cons, in fact, about VC money, because just the question is which VC is the right one and what is the best time at the end. And of course, there's a huge uncertainty for the team what this VC then actually is doing with you at the end. And to be transparent, that our funding is now 4 weeks. Has happened before 4 weeks. Yesterday was the announcement. So I see very much pros, and the cons will probably follow later, to be honest. But let's see.
Okay. So how did you find the right VC? What was the criteria for it, in your opinion?
This is a very good question. So of course, we pitched a lot. I pitched a lot, and at the end, I made a distinction on the questions being asked. So there's one part of VCs who are asking questions because they do not understand what I'm doing. And of course, at some point of time, I know what to say, and then I figured out which VCs ask the right questions at the end. And these questions who are maybe were pointing at a problem in our business case, and then I iterated the business case, the business model, and made it better. And this gave some idea how it could work out in the future with these VCs, and this was really motivating to go with them then at the end.
So you're also searching for an investor who gives you more than money. So
Definitely. So at the beginning, I just looked for money, as everyone, I think. At the end, I learned during the pitching that there's so much more than money, and at the moment, I can say it's just like every day is there's a new present coming in from the VCs. But I think there will be also a time when there have to be like results, and this is a challenge. For every startup, there are different challenges. And currently, we're figuring out how to build a good strategy to meet as many of them as possible.
Did you do some background checks on these two guys?
Yeah,
before?
I did. Of course, as well, the UVC partners closely related to my home university, which I don't like to hear, but at the end, it's a very huge plus because there's so much network they bring with them in the Munich local area. So I had good references. One of our team members is from there. Maybe you can say a few words on these programs, what you offer. At the end,